Stacey Widlitz, though, is president of SW Retail Advisors. She's live for us in London, and in New York, Dana Telsey from the Telsey Advisory Group. Happy holidays, ladies. And it is your time of the year in terms of following these companies. Let me start with you, if I can, Dana. And what are you going to be watching right now as we do count down for Christmas? What are the key points that you're looking at?
As we count down to Christmas, I want to see how the back-to-school selling season goes. I think the indication of how we do in back-to-school is a great portender for what we're seeing for the upcoming holiday season. I want to see some seasonal weather because certainly last year it got too warm outside. And I think the other thing we'll be seeing is inventory levels getting leaner. We're not going to see the big price increases that we had last year. Selling through seasonal merchandise, lack of price increases, and seasonal weather should add up to a better holiday for 2012 than what we had in 11.
Stacey, do you agree it's going to be a better season, especially given the economic backdrop between Europe and the United States? What have you been observing and watching?
Well, you know, obviously, as Dana just said, a lot of it depends on the weather. So last year, whether it was the teen retailers, any of the apparel guys were stuck with this cold weather merchandise that they had to clear out at these really horrible margins. So that'll be a big factor here. And obviously, we don't have those input cost increases this year. I think a lot of it will depend on how the retailers position themselves from an inventory standpoint, as well as pricing. Last year, the most promotional and the earliest that promoted won share. This year, the same thing will probably happen. And in addition, since input costs are coming down, will some of the retailers actually lower their basic prices? So far, they said they won't, but we will see.
Yeah, we will see, Dana. Do you think that they will, given the fact that commodity prices were much higher last year than in some cases they are now? And in addition, labor costs are down for many of these retailers. Not all, certainly, but for many of them.
I don't think we're going to see much lowering of prices unless we see a real stalemate in terms of demand. If we see consumers not going in the stores to buy, then you may get that. But what's happening so far, color is winning. There's product innovation and newness, and that's why we're seeing the color in the stores selling through. And from what we've seen coming up for holiday and also for back to school, we'll see an evolution of that color, maybe a little bit more muted tones, but it'll still be there.
So, Dana, who do you like the best so far? I know we're a ways out, but who do you like the best in terms of the retailers for this upcoming season?
I think this upcoming holiday season we're going to continue to see accessories fare well. You're still early on in the new store openings of Michael Kors, and that should be one of the winners for holiday 2012. American Eagle is certainly having a change this year than they were last year, and that should also bode well. And we're seeing some changes in the women's apparel retailers. Given that Coldwater Creek, Christopher & Banks, Talbot's maybe not faring as well, that should benefit Ann Taylor and also Chico's. But let's not forget Limited, and let's also not forget some of the big department stores like Nordstrom and Macy's.
All right, Stacey, if you had to put your money on one name, which one would it be and why?
Well, what I've been doing is focusing on the European exposure for the U.S. retailers. So I've been over here in London hitting the stores for about a month. And I think, you know, the guys like Abercrombie over their international part of the business, they're not going to promote. And I think the promotions will win and gain share once again this year. The consumer is very savvy. On a positive note, certainly the Limited is opening up a Victoria's Secret in London. I think that will be a huge win here because, really their biggest competitor here will be Marks & Spencer that's having its own problems. So I think there's a really big opportunity there, and they've had a really consistent past couple years, so that's my favorite.
Yeah, they have. All right, ladies, thank you very much. A very early Merry Christmas to you both.